Bola Oba's AI video series of Dr. Samuel Johnson's History of the Yorubas, Episode 3, Origin of Yoruba Tribes. Disclaimer: this content draws exclusively from Samuel Johnson's History of the Yorubas. Please be aware that the book, the first comprehensive Yoruba history written by Yoruba authors, is documented from a pro-Oyor perspective. If you are not of Oyor descent, you may find some of the claims contentious. We present this as a foundational yet subjective account. The Ancestral Tapestry, Origins of the Yoruba Tribes, The Foundation, Oduduwa, and Ilé Ifè. All Yoruba tribes fundamentally trace their lineage back to Oduduwa and the ancient city of Ilé Ifè, fabled as the primordial spot where humanity was created. The principal tribes, including the Yorubas proper or Oyors, Benins, Ilas, Owus, Ekitis, Sabes, and Popos, descended from Oduduwa's 7 grandchildren. Crucially, the land was not empty. The aboriginal inhabitants were likely conquered and absorbed. The power of the king, like Orafiyan, Oranyan, was seen in the extent of his dominion and the apparent size of his progeny, a nod to princes and warlords who established provincial kingships across conquered lands. This historical reach accounts for the influence over groups like the Gas of Accra in today's Ghana, and the former tribute paid by the Popos and Dahomians to defunct Oyo Empire. The dominant line, the Oyos. The Yorubas proper, also known as the Oyos, are the descendants of Oranyan, Orafiyan, who was distinguished as a brave prince. His reign began when he set out on a famous expedition from Ilé Ifè toward Mecca to avenge his great-grandfather. This journey led him to found the ancient city of Oyo, Iyor. The Oyos, representing the cream of his conquering army, settled in the vast region bounded by the Ifes, the Niger, the Yorubas, the Dahomians, and the Egbás. All principal rulers in the country historically sought to validate their claims by tracing a relationship to the Aláàfin of Oyo, the direct descendant of Oranyan. The Southern Offshoots, the Egbás. The Egbás are a small offshoot of the Yorubas proper, or the Oyos, occupying the southeastern districts. Their principal families also trace their roots to Oyo, leading to the saying, "Egbás who have not their root in Oyo are slaves," implying descent from the aboriginal Oyos. Many of their chiefs originated from the Ersors, warlords of Oyo. They initially existed as independent villages, loosely grouped into 3 divisions: Egba Agbayin, Egba Oke Ona, and Egba Agura, or Gbagura, but all acknowledged the king's half-brother, the Alake, as their primus. Their unique political structure led to the saying,
Egba kononiro, uwalongse bioba.
That is, Egbás have no king, all of them are like masters, with the real king being in Oyo. A dark plot against the Osile, chief of Egba Oke Ona, is noted. He was said to be prone to slaughtering human victims, which led to the name of his chief town, Oko, pelting stone, as Osiles were traditionally stoned to death for their excesses. From victim to victor, the Ijebus. The origin of the Ijebus is dramatically linked to human sacrifice. One account claims they descended from a victim offered by the king of Benin to the ocean god, hence Ijebu, the food of the deep. The Ijebus' own version of their origin points to Obanta or Oba Nita or Ebo Niita, a man who miraculously revived after being mangled as a sacrifice by the Olowu, king of Owu, at a crossroad or junction, Ita. This surviving victim crawled away and founded a community, converting the name Sacrifice on the Highway to Obanta, a king on the highway. The tribe's notorious history of human sacrifices until its 1892 defeat by the British, which ended it, and being the most inhospitable to outsiders of all Yoruba tribes, is seen as a curious coincidence supporting this origin. The Ijebu king, the Awujale, received his title from an Ilari, an Oyo king's messenger, named Agbejoyle or Alajaile, arbiter of landed dispute, sent by the king at Oyo to settle a boundary dispute between Owu Ipole and Iseyin Odo. The sacrificial food and the fighters, the Ijesas. The Ijesas have two main origin accounts. The earliest and more myth-laden suggests they are the descendants of slaves purchased and located at Ibokun to be tended as human cattle under Owaju for sacrificial purposes, hence Ije Orisa, the food of the gods. This view highlights their historical reputation for brute strength but lack of wit. Another legend suggests the first Owa, king of Ijesas, was given a bundle of sticks by the Aláàfin that turned into people, Omo Igi, offspring of sticks, increasing his few subjects. The second account, relating to the present-day Ijesas of Ilesa, claims they hailed from the Ekitis. These marauders found the aboriginal Ijesas simple and unwarlike, settled on the spot, and reduced the original inhabitants to subjection. They spared an old chief called Oba Ila, Okra King, from his plantation, whose title, Obala, is now conferred on the most distinguished chief after the Owa. A later tradition identifies the first Owa as Ajaka, the youngest grandson of the Olaàfin of Ifè. Ajaka, a brave and ubiquitous fighter, was nicknamed Omo Obokun, children of the brine procurer, after successfully bringing the salt water from the Atlantic Ocean that cured his blind grandfather. Since the Olaàfin had no property left to give, he gave Ajaka a sword with leave to conquer his brothers, hence the appellation Owa Ajaka Onida, Raharaha, Owa the ubiquitous fighter, a man with a devastating sword. The mountain dwellers, the Ekitis. The Ekitis are classed among the aboriginal elements absorbed by the invaders. The name Ekiti itself denotes a mound, referring to the rugged, mountainous nature of the country. This extensive province is divided into 16 districts, each with its own Owa or king, with 4 being supreme: the Ajaro of Ijero, the Alara of Ara, the Alaye of Efon Alaye, and the Elekole of Ikole. The settlers and survivors, the Ondos. The Ondos trace their origin to a time when the custom of killing twins still prevailed. A wife of Aláàfin Ajaka gave birth to twins, which the king refused to destroy. He ordered her and the children, along with a large retinue, to a remote area. They settled on the site of present-day Ode Ondo, then sparsely peopled by the Idoko tribe. The name Ondo signifies the settlers. The Ondos are a mixture of Oyos and Idokos, whose arrival is said to have marked the beginning of the end of infanticide in Yoruba proper. Coming next, religions of the Yorubas prehistoric, times to the early 20th century.
A style so divine, never missed a party, always first in the line.
Echo Round City. In the heart of Lagos, long before hashtags and influencers, there were kings of the streets, big boys who ruled the 1980s and 1990s. Their swagger, their hustle, their code. Now, for the first time ever, their untold story comes alive. From the pages of an authorized biography to the big screen of your imagination, stay tuned for the book-to-movie premiere of Echo Round City, the authorized biography of one of Lagos's legendary street big boys, streaming exclusively on youtube.com at Bola Oba from January 1st, 2026. Echo Round City, the legend lives on.